first effort who have been in at reconciling the country, taking care of what? The needs of the Liberian people, their welfare, poor people looking for food to eat. Today, Bouaka has abandoned the interests of the poor people. He himself seems to be wallowing in corruptible conduct. He is sidestepping the need of our people. He's focusing on things that is not a pressing priority. And it's a concern for me because I believe in the absence of peace, democracy will not flourish. In the absence of sustaining peace, democracy will not thrive. If democracy is supposed to have a fighting chance in Liberia, we'll put first thing first. Take for example, Bouaka violated the code of conduct when he took power even before declaring an asset. The code of conduct says you should declare your asset before you take power. Bouaka violated that. Bouaka again is violating even the tenure law of our country.
We are calling for an independent forensic investigation to establish the authenticity of what occurred on that fateful day of February 29, and also demanding the government of Liberia to facilitate the conduct of an independent autopsy on the two dead bodies of Issa Masale and Abraham Kekula that are yet to be buried. We are also calling the attention of the international community through their embassies or diplomatic missions located near Monrovia to pay keen attention to the deadly situation which occurred in Kinjor, Grand Cape Man County. Peaceful citizens' lives were lost, and some were brutally manhandled by the Liberian National Police while representing the interests of the Beer Mountain Mining Corporation. And these are flagrant human rights violations. An investigation conducted by the Professional Standard Department of the Liberian National Police exonerates itself by justifying the fatal shooting of 3 peaceful and unarmed citizens by stating that the use of lethal force was necessary. The police report is not a surprise because in the situation where the accused and admitted perpetrator of the shooting is also the self-proclaimed arbiter of justice, the outcome of the said ruling is obvious. It is unthinkable and unreasonable.
Let me abruptly regurgitate my point of view vis-a-vis using my perspicacity and ratiocinations as a compos mentis homo sapient and as an erudite and academic juggernaut. Let me delineate the nitty-gritty, the nuts and bolts, and the crinkum-crankum of the status quo. See, this is not me venting out my garrulity and loquacious monomania in this tete-a-tete. I would never intentionally obfuscate, befuddle, becloud, and buff in a fog and canopy of obnubilation and ago-bago malaki. Now, let me digress to the crux and focal point of this colloquy. It is dismally lugubrious and dolorously lachrymose that the premium motor spirit, or if you have the proclivity and propensity to refer to it with the layman's nomenclature, which is no more ubiquitous. And concomitant to that, the price keeps burgeoning and mushrooming as a corollary to the scarcity. Now, let me demystify and delineate as I pilot and paddle you through this expository legato peregrination of rebarbative rigmarole. You see, as a monumental colossus and a Brobdingnagian egghead, let me verbalize and enunciate my undaunted apologia as we both natter and confabulate in this gravitas harangue or colloquy. For donkey years, porcupine and whopper pork. You see, I'm not a criticaster, neither am I an iconoclast. Only a ginormous gala or a cretin hokum that these grudgy yo-yos and namby-pamby snolly gusters have not eclipsed the whole polloi in a state of horrendous ho-ho and ho-hum. We are engulfed in a gabardine of hanky-panky. We need to yiv-ho and heave-ho them exigently.
Timo Doma is my cousin. I was born in Nimakante.
You got birth certificate?
I come in now. Revin, take time. Revin, you divorce a wife 2 times. You divorce a 2 wife woman.
You see how you done lie? I only been married twice. I was divorced twice. You know jack about me. You don't want to say you would divorce your wife and she vote for CDC. Don't play with me. You don't know jack about me. You don't know me.
He's very divisive. If I call the senator ball, the senator call us who support Joe, we are gangs. You should be happy that I'm calling you a ball. Legislatively, he's a ball. Legislatively, he's a ball.
Tima Doma is my cousin. I was born in Nima County.
You got birth certificate?
I come in now. Reverend TikTok. Reverend, you divorce a wife 2 times. You divorce a 2 wife woman.
You see how you done lie? I only been married twice. How I divorced twice? You know jack about me. You don't want to say you would divorce your wife and she vote for CDC. Don't play with me. You don't know jack about me. You don't know me.
Don't trouble nothing too much, you know.
1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3, I love you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. Here within my arms again. Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. I miss you, and it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you, and it's so unfair. I toss and turn, reach for you, only my pillow.
It is Friday in Liberia.
The morning sunrise.
The weekend, they say.
Alone.
And they give it the description TGIF. Thank God it's Friday.
Loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing.
A time to de-stress oneself from Monday to Friday at work. And they begin the jolly.
4, 5, 6, I'm missing.
But for us on the other side of the divide, we don't have any time for jolly. So we on Friday with the show, Bits and Pieces, on Voice of Liberia 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakata Magibi County, Voice of Liberia 90.7 Bon County, and the online radio, www.voiceofliberia.radio.com. We've heard across Liberia, the only radio station that cuts across the country is heard throughout the 15 counties of Liberia. My name is Sam Andrews. Patrick Sarr is on the camera. Edwin Dry is in this afternoon. He's on a major assignment. So we talk the issues from now till 5:50.
I love you. 4, 5, 6, I miss you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3, I love you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. Here within my arms again.
Okay, time is of the essence. Let's get started. Let's start with the Liberia National Police. An awful scene was witnessed. Before then, the acknowledgement. J. Campbell Yanti, you've come on from Upper Corwell, you said. Prince Zion, you are following from Magibi County, Marshall City, that's Lower Magibi County, Clawea Foundation, City of Hope. Stephen A. Barnes, you've come on from Dakar, Senegal. Asata M. Miller, you are following from Red Light. And Daniel Cole, you are following from King Jaw, Grand Capeman County. David Gifler, you've come on from Mandra Market, Waterside. Ernest Tosa, you are following from the United States. You said, Dwight Tay, thank you for coming on. You are following from Minnesota. And you said, thank God, it's Friday. aka TGIF. Okay. Yes. Thank you ever so much, Duarte, for coming on. We are inspired by your presence. You are always on the show. You have now become a statutory member. Simeon Taklam, you've come on from Lower Johnsonville. Stanley N. Gayu, you are following from Jamaica. Thank you so much. I like how the Jamaicans speak their accent. Kabe is a Kambi Cole. You've come on from where you are following the show from your Harbor Park residence, Madele Young City, Melela. Okay, that's the Philippines. Thank you ever so much for following the show. A call from all the way Philippines. My dear Gion brother is on. Stephen Coker, you are following from Washington, D.C. Okay, thank you ever so much. Okay, Stephen, it's good to have you on. Gion brother. And Crusoe Gongbe, you've come on from Maryland, the USA. Eugene Hammer, you are following from, you said, the great state of Missouri, the United States of America. Emmanuel D. Nafikbe, you've come on from Minnesota, the United States of America. We shall acknowledge you as you come on. So the first pointer is what unfolded last night on Johnson Street. Now, take it or leave it, whether you find it necessary or not, whichever description you can give it. But this incident was dreadful, not representative of the police. The same thing we saw in the past, and officials of this government would criticize and condemn, and they were referred to the police then as CDC police. The same thing, the police, I may not call them CDC, Unity Party police or rescue police, but I will stick to the act. Description is not for me to use. It is my responsibility to say exactly what happened. So this event occurred last night. It was cruel. It was dreadful, very inhumane, not representative of police faults that we expect to be. Nobody should ask. This is not an information that was provided, and we fast check. I was on the scene last night. When I left, I got on Johnson Street, and given what unfolded over the day yesterday, so there was scarcity of vehicles. Not many vehicles were around. So we were waiting. And the police will clear Johnson Street. Those of you who know Broad and Johnson Street intersection, the cars, keke, motorbikes will park right there, the curve. And we have all along said that was a very dangerous scene. If the police didn't move in to clear everybody from there, people would die in the numbers. In that place, people during the regime of Erling and Weah died over there because the cars, the kekes, the bikes, everybody would park right over there scrambling for passengers. Trucks coming from up the hill, down the hill, they will lose control. So we insisted and we called on the police repeatedly. Thank God the police listened. So they will move the cars from over the keke, taxi, motorbike. 100% they are right. And that's what we wanted. But, yeah, what happened, which the police should not have done. They said this guy, they saw this guy in the front of the keke. Their judgment was he was a car loader or is a car loader because he's still alive. So the keke was moving slow, not on speed, and this police officer ran behind the keke, held the guy who was sitting inside the driver by his shirt and pulled him out while the driver was still moving. So the guy got off. Right at the bank right at the bank. Patrick, what's that bank name? Right down the hall. Is it Access Bank? Right there. There's 3 of them with double ratting. One police officer held the guy shirt, the other police officer on his right, the other police officer on her right. The 2 of them started to beat that guy. The 2 of them asked nobody, say Sam Andrews was there. I am telling you, I was there standing up looking. The only thing, I had to be careful, because such a scene, though you got to be careful. Your security first, your safety first, your materials, everything, because those police officers, not all, but some of them are very dreadful, very unreasonable. So common sense will require, in this guys, just watch the scene. Those guys were standing there and people yelling. The guys kept on beating that guy with the double ratting. The man crying, telling them that he's not car loader. And the guys felt comfortable beating the man up to 5, 6, 7 minutes. The police officers, Johnson Street, those guys that beat there in the night, they beat that guy. And the police officers had not the least feeling or respect to listen to people yelling, y'all lead a man. The man said, y'all lead the ball, let the ball go. The people yelling, the guys they were still beating. So the police officers in this country, not all, but the traffic police officers, they are just interested in beating people, which was an infringement on the man's right. You will have state security infringing on citizens' right instead of protecting the citizen. A citizen, a security officer in such a situation, a trained security officer will use his discretion. Once he gets the man off the vehicle, he will tell him to go, because you caught him off the area. People are abiding by what the restriction you put in place. So why couldn't they allow the man to go? The young man. The police officer started to beat him. Using ratting, double ratting. And let me say, listen, the same thing. In Ellen government, the police officers would beat people with ratting. Gregory Comer, under the leadership of Gregory Comer, assisted by the DEA boss, who was 102 then. They introduced this ratting of beating people. They will beat when they see you on the back, 2 persons. Instead of stopping the back to get the people off, they will start to whip the back rider, and then the back will fall. People got injured. Some people leg got broken. Some people, they made it to hospital, and that was the end. This whole thing of beating citizens came during Ellen time. The same thing is reintroduced. Why beat the man? Why beat the man? The man did nothing wrong. You assume that the man was a car loader. Assumption doesn't say you should start to act immediately. Assumption only means it is what you have. So you have to do an investigation to prove your suspicion or not. But the officers, they went on that guy, they beat that guy. Gregory Comer, you are the head of the Liberia National Police. Not all the police officers bad. Not all the police officers got bad behavior. There are good police officers. There are trained police officers. There are police officers who would not stoop so low, would not do such. There are some, like those 3 guys, who would do that. And it damages the reputation. It impinges on the reputation of the police force. So you have to speak to them, Mr. IG. You have to tell them, you have to caution them. What if that man had died, beating the man? And this is what the people were saying. The people were yelling, y'all lead the ball, let the ball go. The ball said, he's not car loader. And as the people hear, it's like telling the police officers, y'all continue to beat. So in the evening, Johnson Street, that all they go there for. That all they go there for with double ratting. just whipping people. Why would you do that? The same awful sin you criticize. You said, George, you refer to the police force as CDC police because you felt that what they were doing was wrong. But the same thing is happening in Boakar's reign. So what is the difference? Why will you get on your people like that? Why will you use the iron fist or heavy-handed situation against your own citizens? Why can't you use your discretion? Every institution has that right. Every person has that right to use his discretion given the situation he or she finds himself in. You use your discretion. I, as a police officer, in such a situation, will get the man off and allow him to leave the scene. The goal is not to get him or not to get car loaders on the street. So we raid them off. We get them off the scene and not to beat them. It's an infringement. No reason why we don't have any system in this country. You can't do that in any other country. The police will pay. Look at the situation in Kinjal. So the police is saying that the police is right in everything they do. And again, let me say, not all police officers. They are trained police officers. They are officers who follow the rule, but there are also bad officers within the Liberia National Police. They are officers who know the rule, but yet they will impute sentiment into what they do. That was wrong. They would have killed that guy last night. And what the police director would have said. Look at the fellow who died in the police cell or the working of it. Nothing. Look at the Kinjal situation. Nothing. And you think that all these things are not being documented. Look, let me tell you. You're sitting down. The time is coming. The international community will start to release human rights violation reports. And you will see how damning it will be for this Unity Party government. It is not the excitement that it's a new government. It is the caution that the government needs to take in how it treats its people. The time is coming, those situation reports will come up. And you will hear, and they will be followed by action. We're not hoping, we don't want any punitive action, but if it warrants punitive action, we will welcome it. The same way governments or officials were sanctioned in the past, and people were excited, and they think that nothing will happen in this regime, is a lie. America is no respecter of a person and government. No. America is no respecter of a person or government. America does what is right. America treats a situation in its opinion that isn't right. America chastens a government that isn't following the right path. That situation last night was too awful. Why beat the man? The man poses no threat to the police. He wasn't resisting the police officers. He was doing nothing. He was vulnerable. The situation reminded me of the George Floyd situation in the United States. Begging, the man begging. Yet the police fellow had his knee on his neck. The man begging last night that I'm not car loader. Y'all leave me, I hold you for I'm not car loader. They kept on beating the man. What did it profit them? What did it profit those three police officers? Nothing. No reason why. Instead of people running to the police, they are afraid of police. There isn't any police citizen relation. There is this fear now that people should not go to the police because even if you run to the police will ill-treat you. People should be running to the police not to be afraid of the police. That is the reason why their responsibility is to save life and protect property. So most of the time they're in breach of their own code values. That's what happened yesterday, last night. I was there. I stood up. I watched the scene. Nobody. This is not a report came and then we investigated and it is the reality. I was there last night. Was there. I saw the two police officers standing right there. They're whipping the guy with the double ratting, one on his left and the other on his right. And then the guy in the middle, holding his shirt so that he doesn't move, and the two guys kept on beating him. Hey, Liberia, man. There you go. They feel infringing, dehumanizing, suffocating, killing their own citizens simply because they're in uniform. No discretion. No value, no respect for their own citizens because they're in uniform, so they think that they should go, wow. Y'all continue. Y'all continue to ill-treat. Y'all continue to beat. Y'all can even go on killing. But everything has an end. As much as you can do it to anybody with ease and confidence, somebody can do it to you. You know why the police officers themselves, they are afraid to go in certain place? Because of what they have done. They don't have a clear conscience. They do not feel comfortable moving in communities and other places because of the dreadful act. Quick to react. Not all police officers, please. Hear me well. Not all police officers. I am referring to those police officers who engage into such act, like the one I saw last night. They are great, trained, renowned police officers. They are police officers who are faced with terrible situation. They use their discretion with the citizens. I have seen that many times. But there are the bad ones, like the three guys last night. That was wrong. Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman, please speak to your people. Speak to your people. The citizens should not be afraid of the police. The police should not be gladiators against the citizens. Instead, the citizens should be more comfortable going to the police, feeling comfortable being with the police, around the police, not to be afraid of the police. In our country, as we wind down on this, the people only feel comfortable and respect the military. But I can tell you, I've been in this country. Martin Luther King said one of the reasons that God has allowed me to live in this place is to see what is unfolding in history. And I can say the same of myself. One of the reasons that God has allowed me to live in this period is to see what is unfolding or what unfolded in history. What I have come to know is the people in this country, vast majority of the people, comfortable with the military than the police. Gregory Coleman, you know that very well. During early time, you had series of engagements, series of police community relation forums. You had that. I know that for a fact. And you people had to address some of the excesses of the police and why the people were not really comfortable with the police. You did a number of public relations, community engagement, sensitization, bringing the community and police together because of what you saw. So you are not a stranger to what is unfolding now. You have to develop a new mechanism because this is a new era that the police will not be trampling upon the rights of the citizens. They will not take ratting. Where you got that thing from? Take right and beating your citizen. Why should a police take right and beat their own citizen? You're beating them. Why you hit the man 2-3? Why the man fall down and die? Or the lady fall down and die? What kind of police in this country? They have no caution. Not the least thought to say, let's be careful. If we continue to do this, this person could die in our hand. The police have no time. As far as they're concerned, they should go on beating. That's dreadful. That's satanic. It's inhumane. It's diabolical. It has to stop. This government cannot be a beating citizen government. Tell your people, Gregory Coleman, to stop beating citizens. Stop moving with rotten. You have the authority. Not because we are Africans, but you have the authority. The authority is the uniform that you're wearing. The authority is just to say, don't move or don't get here. And the person will not. You don't have to exert force. Force is not authority. That was wrong. That was completely wrong. It should not happen again. Mr. Police IG, please tell your people, take all the rattens from them. They should not use rattan in this place. Stop beating people. People in Kaka, you're beating them. People on bike, you're beating them. Why? Why? So it is a slave situation we're in, that the slave master can beat anywhere, anytime? Okay. That's why I thought to, so we on the lookout to see again. Let's take a few calls on this one, then we'll move to the next issue. The assets recovery team of President Joseph Yuma Boakai is cracking. One of the key members have left. The assets recovery team, one of the key members have left. Let's have a few calls on this, then we get to that. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. And you?
I'm fine, big brother. Mr. Andrews, the wave of police people carrying rattan, it is very, very, very much unbecoming. If you get to the red light area where I live, you will notice that all of the police officers on the street, they are carrying rattan, beating people on keke, beating on vehicle with the rattan, beating on pedestrians that are walking. I mean, it's just unbecoming. I don't know what sort of policing is that. Is that the way for police officers to go? Because I do know police officers to be people that will regulate, but not with rattan. But right now, we see police people in the traffic or walking on the street. What's very rare, everywhere they got rattan. They got rattan in the market. They got rattan on the street and just beating on people. What sort of policing is that? Is that how Gregory Coleman told them to go about? Because I know maybe they got the order from the police inspector general.
I don't think it is their own thing they are doing. The police director in Gregory Coleman will not issue that instruction that they should beat people. He can't do that. As much as Gregory Coleman has his own weaknesses as a human being, a police director, he will not instruct them to beat anybody. They are doing their own thing. Thank you so much, sir. Hello. I'm doing fine. And you?
Thank you. This is Austin from the Victor team.
Let's hear you.
You know, I will not believe that it is the IG that installing them to do this kind of ugly thing. The IG is not in the know of the ugly behaviors out there. Why they shoot at the police have bad apples. The IG is very important to us that we should know.
Oh, yeah. But Gregory Coleman can never, ever tell his officers to go and beat people. He can't do that. That man is trained enough. He can't do that under no condition. They're doing their own thing, and it is damaging the police.
If any IG will judge that, I mean, you are not a human, but I think Mr. Coleman will have the guts to do that. So we need to talk to the guys and remove the right thing from the street. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello? Hello? You are on the air. Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. You are saying, and me, it's calling about this African community. Thank you very much for your talking about this. No, this is police. We don't know when it took that training for, because everywhere it's going to carry ratting on the street. You create the own bad set. Like this, somebody value rule. The man can use the rat and block you. If any accident that happens, it goes scot-free. It happened one time I was facing red eye road. I was using that rat and a police officer and lady. Then with me with a rat in. So I went. I said, well, why you beat me on the why you beat me? Why not me with a ratty? No, taste. So rather away, I also want a bubble. Do other girl, not that you are pretty, I don't know what they like to have to carry to hospital.
Okay, Chief. All right, thank you. Hello.
Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon.
This is what I'm calling my capital papa.
Let's hear you.
Sam, the police behavior now, Sam, we don't do. We are flagged. Sam, the police begin to be ourselves. We are brutal, the police now, the police behavior. They ratting, I'm telling you, run the street. That day yesterday, they beat a guy, the police came and they pick out that ratting, they beat that guy. They beat the guy. What make it for them? They beat one councillor was there. The councillor taking the issue with them. They can't put a guy in a car, they can't man to the police station.
But this country is not a serious country. When you say then people, not necessarily that everything that kind of way, no. When we say not serious, because they were criticized, they were condemned, they were talking about making the system right, yet they do the same thing. You can have police officers, I have seen that, what are you referring to? I have seen it. I've seen police, group of police officers get down from the pico and just start to beat people. In a civilized world, you don't beat people.
I said they beat the body, man. So then they don't met our lawyer or counselor. That man, so they think that they killed the man, put in, they start checking that man, the man put it, I put in a car. People, the other night or none go out here, pull a quote. Send a beat that boss, send the brother, see the brother and book around, they put my hand in people. More thing a policeman do than a beating. You know, they say the poor and confident, the former daughter, and I'm confident. Whatever the other bar, I same way afraid. People no kind and talk to the poor.
Thank you, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is James Freeman calling from King Gray.
Let's hear you, sir.
Yeah, you know, most of them are listening, but I don't get a chance to get on a call. I mean, tell you, police are brutal. So what we have to do, and Gregory come on, know much about what is going on, because if you say you don't know, then why should we pick up and be living from Central with a lot of rotten? He knows about it. He saw them. Because what they did earlier than what they say, prove it, and what they keep the proof. So, not to say that he don't know. He knows. So they get to me, they get drive around Moreover. All over Moreover, drive around. I know you will see, according to the police were rotten. So he knows about it.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Somebody is still calling for Bata.
We're waiting for you. What have you to say? You went off, Chief. Hello.
Yeah, thank you. This is Voice of Liberia, right?
Yes, this is Voice of Liberia 104.1.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Kewu S. Hassan, and I call from Electoral District 11, Cardwell. Let me appreciate you for the talking point. Well, and I'm listening to your analysis. You know, you journalists, you are the informer, the watchdog of our society. Some of these things happening around our countries, we don't inform, we don't know about it, but you journalists inform us, so it is important. But in so doing, we have to be partisans of the fact that we have to do a fast check, right, to know what is the real fact. Because, mind you, some of these incidents occur in the streets and around our country. It is caused by reasons. And some of the reasons, if you find out the reasons why some of these happen, it will behoove you. It will behoove you, and you will get to know that some of these things are happening in the street. It is because of deviant postures.
Won't you mind holding on? Let me ask you this question, then you continue. Did you start the show from the onset?
Yeah, I started the show from the onset.
Now, if you started from the onset, then you should not be saying this. I said I was on the scene. So what the fact check here? I said I was on the scene last night with several people, several Liberians. The place was filled with people. I said I was on the scene. It's something I saw right before me. Okay, so what is the fact checking there? Hey, Chief, don't waste people's time, man. I mean, sometimes people don't want to get emotional on you, but you don't bring sense to the what's the fast checking there? Eh? You say you in from Voice of Liberia, this thing is happening, Voice of Liberia, then you say you must do fast check. My man, sorry to say, but some of your is too low in terms of reasoning. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah,
Hello?
yeah. What is your name and where you call from? Yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon, brother Sam Andrew. My name is Alvin Dana, and I call from the UN draft. Brother Sam Andrew, let me appreciate this afternoon for the beautiful talking point. Also, let me appreciate Almighty God pumping breath into us our hearts to be. Brother Sam Andrew, I think the conversation in which you are
I think your line is cracking. Yeah, just switch a little bit.
I think the police drivers really have to listen to you because the police men are taking serious law into their hands. I can remember doing or I got to go again. And I went back business. A police guy beat on me. I've been looking for that guy in the street. I said, there I see that guy where I uniform. I did that guy myself. I've been on a serious note. But since that time, taking that off the state, man. I have to see serious reason to put them in order because I may be able to come and make the law.
All right, I've sorry. I would have loved you conclude, but your line is cracking. All right, thank you ever so much for spicing up this one. So another thing these police officers will have to take into consideration, as much as they are officers with the authority of the state, they are humans too. The same way the citizens feel insecure, they too can feel insecure. They will not be in the uniform all day, whole day, every day. They will take off the uniform. I'm only trying to caution them to be careful. You take up the uniform, you have place that you live in, you go to place. People marking you, people looking at you, people, they putting your image in their mind. You know, that's how many people died during the war. That's how many people died. We saw that over and over. I never ever left from here. Probably that was God's will. From the very start of the war in Liberia to the end, I never ever left. That is why sometimes I sit down and say, yes, this is God's will. Probably he wanted me to see certain things. People left, all my families left, everybody left. We saw fighters would say, look, you come here. You were this, and you did this. You came out, you were at so and so ministry, or you were this person, and you said this to me. Can you remember me? That's how many of the people died or were killed. Why you think they were looking for mark on people's foot or feet? Police, military. Because people picture people in mind and kept it for years and felt that that was the time to avenge. You have to be careful. It doesn't say because you have the power, so you should go to the extreme. It only means that you stabilize the law. You stabilize society by the law. That's why Aristotle said the law is intended to restrain the beast out of the person. That means if the person went outside the law. So the law restrains the person. You use the law. You don't use the unfixed method. Because you are you. I'm sitting right here, I'm talking. At the close of the day, I will leave the microphone and get into the community. Do I know who is who? No. So I'm very mindful of what I say and how I say. Everybody, you're not in police uniform forever. You'll be in military uniform forever and ever. We will not sit behind the microphone to talk forever and ever. We will leave at the close of the day and get into communities. Go to institutions. Mingle with people. But you don't know who is who. You have to use your discretion. We shouldn't see that, witness that scene again. And any scene, the police start beating people in this country. If governments in the past people, this government should not. Just stop it. If you have seen that in or countries, don't bring it in Liberia. There are too many options available to the police, the military, or the security people to keep the atmosphere stable. On top of that, the law provides that you use discretion. How can your core value be to protect life and property, then you're destroying it? If that man had died, would it have been interpreted as preservation of life by the police or protection? No. Thank you ever so much for spicing it up. So let's move to the next point up. Before that, let's acknowledge Euro Kringa. You've come on. Thank you ever so much. You've come on. I know why you haven't been on, because you've been engaged with domestic activities. Thank you ever so much. You've come on, Yumotro Kringa. Thank you so much. I'm excited to see you. To the birthday of Salome Floyd of Capital Arts, you celebrate your birthday today. Happy birthday, and thank God Almighty. I hope that you celebrate in grand style. All right, Yumotro Kringa, yes, you've come in. You say good morning. Sam, watching you from Minnesota, USA. Glad to be here with you as always. Yes, thank you ever so much. All right, so let's move now to pointer. Well, it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise that the access team is cracking. It's not a surprise. No, I knew it was going to crack. Didn't I criticize entire stuff? And I started with the head of the access recovery team, counting. My position was and still that as far as I know him historically, he doesn't have any landmark dates in this country. Whatever he ventured into. So I was not he was going to make any difference. What I have known him for is to make grandiose speeches, very rhetorical, like any official or government. And at the close of the day, you will see nothing of those long speeches, no action. So you see now, I told you, Ministry of Information and just give a long speech, sounds so aggressive, radical, and ready to make a difference when you know that you can't do it. Doesn't make sense. The people on the other side, they talk less and act more. Yeah, they talk a lot. So what happened with the access recovery team? They blunt from the very day, the very moment. Today, one of the key members of the access recovery team left. Concerned, it doesn't make sense for him to continue with the access recovery team. So he left the team. He has notified the president of his departure, that he doesn't want to be a part any longer access recovery team, given how it been going about. And he is the head of the party. Endorsed the president in the second round and will claim that the two of them have relationship, have a strong relationship. So, yeah, what he said. I just stepped down the access recovery core team by submitting my official letter of resignation of the president. I am particularly grateful to the president for always entrusting me in my leadership. I'm committed to your agenda, not just as a leader of the economic freedom fighters of Liberia, but also as your son. In your agenda for better Liberia and count on me as always for support. We will think of Liberia and Liberia together. Is the short statement released by terminating his service from or with the assets recovery team. His argument is the team was just going arresting vehicles arbitrarily, indiscriminately, impounding vehicles. There isn't any proper trace. Nothing was well tailored or organized before embarking on such. So his argument with all of these anomalies or errors, he can continue. And he will argue further, he doesn't see the assets recovery team making any impact going forward. Now, it wouldn't be a surprise if we heard of another person resigning. That whole assets recovery team might just crack. And the head, Edwin Clark Martin, will be left in limbo. How many million did he cut? Did he say 3.5 or 2.5 million? And that money will have to be approved by the legislature. And all of the senators and representatives saw how they got started. Bad off. And you think those guys in their rational selves will approve that 2.5 million? You think those guys will just allow them to waste taxpayers' money? The senators and representatives would never do that. Those guys are level-headed, highly educated, well-versed. They will not stoop so low to approve 2.5 million for the assets recovery team. They have already seen from the onset how the blunder just going around. But we said the thing from the onset, we said it was purely political, as much as it was constituted by the chief politician of the country, the president. It was purely political. Not only was it purely political, but they had hidden agenda. That composition, the president constituted that team, that composition of people purely and solely to go after. We know that for a fact because some of these people, in the past, prior to Unity Party government coming in, they would say things like, we are government pillaged the resources of the country. They stole money to build this. We will take this from them. They said those things. We listen. Chief, we have some of those things, so nobody should argue. So when the way they started now, it gives everybody that understanding truly. It was a witch hunt, a targeted witch hunt. Going after, not following the laws. Most of the lawyers in this country will condemn them for not being procedural, not following the law. Because the law says if you want to do this, you go to the court and explain, then the court will put everything before the court. It is the court that gives you the power. You jump on the street, doing the work of police. You're obstructing traffic, parking car, telling people to get down from the car, to go to their house or their office or another car, that the car is government car. The composition by the president, and I think the president knew exactly what he was doing, but it didn't work for him. It didn't work for him. We suggested, you want to set up assets recovery team like we see of other countries? They don't take people from within. They don't take people from within a government. They don't take people close to the president or that the president has close ties with. They take people from outside, and those people are professional people. Because it involves a lot of trace or traces. It goes with a number of things. Assets recovery does not just, oh, we're coming to take the car, and then one day, and we need 2.4 million. No. If you know how recovering assets, government properties, and other things, if you know how it goes, you would say that we're playing in this country. It's a joke. We are more political with it, then we can go technical. I thought the president would have constituted a team like this: financial experts, lawyers, business people, people from the civil society. In other countries, that's the composition right there. They know what to do. The financial experts are there. The business people, the lawyers, all of those people, they are there. No close tie with the president or the government, but they are citizens, independent. But the president in Liberia, the president, when this person close to him, then he appoint the person there. When the other person close to him, he appoint that person. They say, good. Now that our time, we're going after them. That is not a surprise that Emmanuel Gongwe has stepped down. That assets recovery team is dead. It's dead. It will not resurrect because of the intent. All of those making up that assets recovery team, with the exception of Emmanuel Gongwe, who has stepped down, will not function. Nothing there to do again. If I were Councillor Edwin Clark Martin, I would tender in my resignation, meet the president, and tell the president we falter. We did not follow the right procedure. I apologize. Hence, I tender in my resignation, Mr. President. You can find another person. In Liberia, people are not professional enough. They're not conscious enough. In other countries, like we see, when the person falters, the person resigns. The man goes and tenders in his resignation, and he will state why he resigned. If this was in another country, the head would step down, given how it all started and ended, because it is his fault. If I were Edwin Clark Martin, I resign. Admit to blunder and move on. The president can find another person. But what's the respect going further again? So he has Emmanuel Gongwe step down. He said he doesn't want to be a part of the assets recovery team again. That is a blow, a shame to the president and the reputation and credibility of the assets recovery team. It puts the president in a difficult position right now. I know you say, oh no, anything, the president got the appointing power. You can pour another person in Emmanuel Gongwe's place. Yes, that's true. But what has it done? The entire country now doesn't see it necessary. People aren't interested, the kind of zest that people had from the beginning, the curiosity that yes, government properties were going to be retrieved. This team is a solid team. They don't trust that team again because all of the people are politicians. They said statements that they should not have said. And the president too, Mr. President, he listened to some of these people in the past criticizing the CDC government and saying that they will go after them, and he appointed some of those people on the assets recovery team. How? You, president, will stoop so low in terms of reasoning and no historical recollection. You can do that. The prejudice the entire Assets Recovery Act before they could even get started. It's just like you prejudge the man before he can stand trial. That's what happened. So, George Weah, people, those houses, George Weah Bill will take over them. The car, the government car. We heard the people making those statements. This is not a defense for George Weah and his government, but we heard those statements being made. And it is based on those statements we reached the conclusion from the onset that, look, this thing is a witch hunt. And the president too, we say, oh yeah, we're starting from the administration. When he had his own administration, but we have refused to do same. So, but yeah, it's there now. You see how shameful it is. This is a disgrace. Emmanuel Gongwe, a strong man, standing down. And Emmanuel Gongwe is bold. What Emmanuel Gongwe has done is what the chairman, Edwin Clark Martin, should do. He should have done this before Emmanuel Gongwe. Because he blundered. A lawyer that been around for a good while. Amen. A lawyer would not know how to proceed procedurally with recovering government assets. A lawyer. Lawyer. I thought it is the lawyer, cognizant of the law or having the laws in his head, will say, before we can embark on this, these are what we need to do in accordance with the law. And anybody will expect that of a lawyer, especially a long-term lawyer, as he is. But he didn't do. He didn't advise any one of his colleagues. He was more political than thinking procedural. He will come and make a public statement. Look at the meeting he had with the president. In that meeting, he said that they had names already, and they gave those people 10 days to avail themselves with everything, or they will go after them. Should Assets Recovery Head be telling the people or the nation that will go after people? That's the expression you don't want to use. Once you make that statement, it is not only political, but it is preconceived. He said it, you go back. I don't want to play it. So you're going to say, well, I have it, we have it, we have it. Your voice of Liberia have it. That meeting he had at the executive mansion with the president and all his team, he said it after assuring the president. He said that they have names already in the possession of those people who have taken substantial quantity of government's property onto themselves, and how they have information of how they acquire those properties. And he was giving 10 days to those people. After those 10 days, if they cannot come out, he will go after them. Assets Recovery Head can never ever use that expression. You see why Liberia atmosphere is like they're too petty. You see, look, our international partners will laugh at us. I know that for if I go into a gathering, here's what some of the international partners are saying about Liberian features. Assets Recovery Head, you will sit and make a political vindictive statement that will go after them. No Assets Recovery Head will ever say that. We'll always talk about the procedure and how it's going to be and when the time comes. You will never hear that man or woman say, we will go after them. Once you use that expression, we'll go after them, it means you have a hidden agenda. And that's why Edwin Martin did not succeed. It's not a surprise to me that Gongwe has stepped down. Probably in the next day or two, we'll hear another person leaving the Assets Recovery team. So you see, you see that. So the man stepped down. Yeah, what the man said. Let me furnish you with it again. He said, I just stepped down from the Assets Recovery Court team by submitting my official letter of resignation to the office of the president. I am particularly grateful to the president for always trusting me and my leadership. I am still committed to your agenda. not just as a leader of the economic freedom fighters of Liberia, but also as your son. I believe in your agenda for better Liberia, and you can count on me as always for support. We will think of Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia together. 0770907. Have your say on this one, then we move to the Kinjal situation. The Kinjal situation. And then the president is in the, is he back home? No, we'll talk about that. Something happened there. Never condemn, never criticize people. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
This is Alan Paul.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, I knew this from the beginning. I think it's always about the data. But just watch the interview. The same with the after recovery going, I mean, dying and how the work from food will go, it's still air.
All
so
right.
There will be nothing done to suppress the Liberian people.
Thank you.
Nothing.
Hello? Yes, good afternoon. I'm doing fine.
Are you getting it, sir?
Yes, I'm getting you. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, your name?
My name is Okavina calling for Upper Kawa. Thank you, my brother. I think from the beginning you were on the air only seeing after recovering issue here. And some of us, we said it from the beginning that what the people were doing, they were not only doing it, for the Liberian people, because there were people who were angry, because they were selected, be selected to do all of these things talking about. And we said it, that it was not 1 day, and not 2 days, it was not 1 year. So it was funny, but the way they were doing it, at the time they put down the former police inspector general, and I'm auditing the CSA. Now, if you can see the way it's happening now, one question there got to understand the way they were proceeding. They were not doing it in a good faith, because it was something that, malice, have people grudge, grudge against people. That's what they were doing. Imagine they were on the air. I remember on spoons. I monitor A in a night where they say, even if we are coming, we'll put it down. And other people call and say, if you try that you say we are a car coming, and you put we are down there, that's serious.
Okay, Chief. Thank you. Hello? You are on the air, Chief. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, people are saying. I need a change over and you're calling for the besides after committee.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I think all that screen for our news, it's the selection of Martin, because that you're working in the former government, but the other created for the House of Representatives taking for the Liberia Culture Commission, on that thing now making it fair. So a lawyer, the mechanism that is not going into play, for plan all your knowledge, I mean you go that wrong direction. More to come, more to resign end of the day, it will be there.
Okay, thank you. Hello?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. And you?
Yeah, my name is John Sir, and I'm calling you from Asmos Street, Just Table.
Let's hear you, Mr. Sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for the show, but the only problem here is that we should not politicize the security sector, Posting security on a kind of microscope will be like...
What is the politicization? What is the politicization here?
You are inciting the citizen against the security, they do this and that, they are human beings, they go home. That is incitement against the pinnacle of Liberia.
Do you know, hold on, do you know what is incitement?
You get all the time, only get 1 minute to talk.
But you aren't being tolerant. I'm giving you the time, I'm asking you, we're intellectualizing, you don't want to intellectualize. You only want to rant, and you are ranting. I said, do you know what is incitement?
Yes.
What is it? What is it? What is incitement? Oh, my man, I want to know your credential. Just explain what is incitement.
Incitement is the insightful messages we are giving.
What is incitement? Give the definition for incitement.
Hey, man, we're not in grade school, boys, man.
But you say I'm inciting, so I want to know now.
People are getting the police. They're not covered. Why you can
My man, get off, man. Go find somewhere to sit down and think good, man. Hello?
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Good afternoon, Sam Andrew.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, I'm Peter the Vikas. I come from Honor the Street Light in Lower Johnsonville. Thank you very much for the fascinating discussion this afternoon. So, firstly, let me extend my thanks and appreciation to you people that in the media that are really propagating the message of good governance. You know, when this asset recovery team was set up, people came out with a complete analysis, and that analysis have really been proven and to be true. And that's why we have a very high regard for you people. For in my work, Gonga resigning today for the asset recovery team clearly validated the arguments that you people or your analysis that you people have about the asset recovery team. Let me tell you, the president, Mr. Walker, you don't come to presidency with heat and a deception. If you really want to fight corruption and recover the asset of storing property, it must be holistic. You can't come and just target a particular sector of a society and you feel that you are going to be successful. It's not complicated.
Okay,
and
sir.
Here we are today. You see what is happening now? The vote is there. If I was in the Bono that killed them. You see?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon again. I call for Cardwell. And my name is Joe Weston. You know, there is a privilege that we all should make use of. And you as a journalist, I believe that it is a privilege that you are serving as a how call it I refer to it as how to call it. There's a name that there's nomenclature I want to refer to you as. But in that, it gave all the opportunity to express our mind, right? To express our opinion, give our views on the topic on the discussions. So I think we have 1 minute to this. You have almost 45 minutes to discuss. So our 1 minute, you give us the opportunity to express ourselves. But we want to express ourselves, you want to disagree with us in our analysis. And I think it's absolutely wrong. This radio station should be a radio station that will be objective. And
thank you so much. You finish expressing yourself. All the time you take to clarify or provide, educate, you should have used that time to state your position. Hello? 0770907. Hello? Hello? Okay. Chief, you are on the air. You wasting time to talk. Yeah. The weather is affecting your line. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Jeremiah Sharia, joining from Kongota.
Yeah, let's hear you, Sheriff.
Yeah, you know, some of the things happen. Sometimes we need to sit in our little corner, listen to the job. We don't know nothing, you know, Councilor Clark Martin or fire by job. We are job. We don't know what you're doing, but you demonstrate yourself this time around. You resign yourself. You tell the Liberia people that you're not able to governmental job because you go to the government with a lot of angry and so forth and all of things. So don't sit and watch. You know, the people government, they will come a time, they will grade the government. They will say, oh, Joe, we are sorry. Don't watch. That one will come back. They will apologize to George here.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. Okay. Thank you so much. So let's move to Siri Allen, Chief Siri Allen. Caution to President Joseph Yema Boakai. And then we will combine it with what a press secretary is. We want to give you a picture, literally, of what a press secretary is. The reason I thought to share that, because there's this confusion, and people think that it is right. Some people interpret that as being right. The president's delegation. In the past, we saw something that wasn't right. It was criticized by this government in opposition now, and this government is doing the same thing. So I've been wondering, what is the position, the entire role, the work, or the scope of the press secretary? We'll talk that, then I will explain to you. So let's move to Chief Cyril Allen. Chief Cyril Allen is cautioning President Joseph Yema Boakai. He thinks the president needs to come out of his corner. The president needs to cease temporarily listening to his advisors, some of whom are ill-advising him, and reach out to the people, the other side of the political divide, the opposition, and the country. And he will talk about reconciliation, the same thing we talked about a couple of days ago, government of inclusion, but that the president, Cyril Allen will argue, needs to reach out, because the country is not only volatile, but it is divided. And it is the responsibility of the president, who is the melting pot, to keep the country together. But when the country is one-sided, then he argues he doesn't see much of a difference going forward.
But I think his 100-day project was over-ambitious. Therefore, there were a lot of shortcomings in the implementation of his 100-day. Be that as it may, if it's successful, it is good for Liberia, and if it is not successful, there's room for improvement regarding the performance of his functionaries. He's not the one doing these things physically, so whether he was over-ambitious or not, it is incumbent upon the officials, those designated to perform these tasks, to perform them diligently. And I do not think that they did that. With respect to the road work, I think that is where they did a lot of work. The contractors have been working very hard under the circumstances to try to get the roads done, especially now that it is dry season. But unsuccessfully, most of them have not completed or did not complete within the time frame. But the contract is an ongoing process, so we hope that they'll put their feet to the fire to try to continue the project before the rains come. I would hope that he would do better. It is just that normally the leader is, of course, all the weight is on the leadership, but these are Liberians. Those performing the duties and functions are Liberians. And the Liberians are always not diligent in the discharge of the official duties. So they create a lot of backlog in the possible implementation of government projects and programs. So we're calling on the functionaries that have been appointed by the president to try to be diligent in the discharge of their duties and to encourage him to actions when people are not diligent in their duties. Try to warn them, give some warning and some encouragement to them to perform their duties. Liberians are too lax when it comes to government functions and functionaries. So we have to encourage Liberians to be realistic, to be more concerned about the development in their various areas of assignment, because the Liberians got to work, dragging their feet. Some of them have a way of being lax. They get their government gas, they have the government vehicles, and the scratch cards, and that's all they wait for. When they receive that, they go and sit down in their corners and don't perform their duties and don't encourage their staff to be diligent. Also, you go to government agencies and ministries, people are still relaxed on the Facebook and on the internet using government computers and not carrying out government duties.
Chief Siri Allen, a stalwart of the National Patriotic Front of Liberia, with his position of the government, his observation. Let's move to the Kinjal situation. The police investigated, you know what flare up? The police investigated, exonerated itself, and the citizens or advocate Malia Sharif will move to seek justice for the people, and he has been on it. And a communication came from the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs, and it seems that monetary or financial agreement was struck as pay for those who lost their lives. We'll get through to Sharif, but yeah, what the communication said, Councillor N. Oswald Tue, Minister, Attorney General, Republic of Liberia, Minister of Justice, Monrovia, Liberia. Mr. Minister, we are in receipt of your letter regarding the violent protest action that occurred at Kinjal, Grand Cape Man County on February 28th, resulting to the death of 3 citizens. The President concurs with your recommendation that government contribute US 5,000 United States dollars each to the families of the 3 victims, or a total of 15,000 United States dollars. The Minister of Finance and Development Planning has been accordingly directed to source the funding and disburse same. Kind regards, sincerely, Sylvester Grisby, Minister. So with this, let me get to Malia Sharif as to whether he's in the know of this. Is it that the government wants to or has agreed to pay the families of those 3 Liberians that died 5,000 United States dollars each? Is he in the know? Okay, I think we have him on. All I want you. Malia Sharif, thank you ever so much for picking up the call. I appreciate it. But are you aware, firstly, of that communication from the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs?
Firstly, I want to say that communication is wickedness at the highest level. We saw that communication when it was being made public by Freedom FM and Spoon FM, and we think that is a total demonstration of lack of interest in the welfare of its citizens by the government. You and I are quite aware that initially we condemned the police report when the police exonerated themselves from the senseless killing of those peaceful and unarmed protesters, onlookers, and bystanders. And this time around, the government has decided to aggravate the situation by trying to condescendingly give 5,000 US dollars to each family member who lost their beloved ones in that protest. They just tell you that the government is insensitive. They just tell you that the government is showcasing its compromised nature.
But you,
when it comes
Mr.
to
Sharif,
dealing with situations that confront its citizens.
Mr. Sharif, you are leading the campaign for justice for these people. How come that an agreement was struck for 5,000? Is it somebody is negotiating behind your back, or the families don't see you as a reliable person, so they would choose another route, or they just want the 5,000? What is happening?
You and I know that I'm the official consultant and liaison for the bereaved families, specifically Isa Masale and Ibrahim Kekula, that were killed. I want to tell you categorically that the families have not signed for any money, and the family will not sign for that disgusting sum that the government is trying to offer. Is the government of Liberia now telling us that 5,000 United States dollars is an equivalent to a loss of life? Is that what they are trying to insinuate, or they are demonstrating? This has been totally senseless. Let us say this. So for the record, the family has not had any agreement. And I will state that initially there was some behind the scene conversation where the company chose to carry on manipulation by offering the family 35,000, the three families, 35,000 United States dollars. And the family turned that down. Justice is what is needed in this particular case. Justice, and not only justice, but to serve as a deterrence that these concessionaires will not just take advantage of the Liberian people, or because government supports them. So let me state this. The family has not signed an agreement. The family is not going to accept any. If we can turn down 35,000 for the three families, then 5,000, I just want to tell you, Sam Andrew, it's not going to work. But this nature of this communication just tell you how insensitive, how heartless, and wicked that the government is. So as the official consultant or liaison for this family, we saw that in the public there, and I already responded to that officially on my Facebook page, and we have more time to respond to it adequately for them to understand we are not going to stoop low. The last time when we had the opportunity to speak to the press, when we had an elaborate press conference, we made it very clear that we have sought the audiences of a law firm in Liberia and a Adesti advisory group in London, and they will advise us during these critical times to see how best we can engage this particular issue. So between you and I, we have not settled for any sum of such, neither will we settle for any sum of such.
Where are you with the lawsuit against the government or the Liberia National Police?
As we speak to you, our lawyers are putting themselves in order. You know, lawsuit requires a lot of planning process, and they are brainstorming. Things are being worked out. Unfortunately, the letter that was served to BM Mountain Company, because this is how it works, for us to have had a conversation first, they refused to sign for the letter from the law firm. So what we did professionally was to send it to that email address or account, and professionally it is deemed received. For the communication that was sent to the police, I want to state this, that the police were very responsible. The IG, in person of Gregory Comer, granted us audience. The lawyer and myself visited him, and we had a conversation. And for the record, and he said I could quote him. He told me, Elias, when you people have more evidences to be adduced, I can assure you that we can look into this report, because I'm not hiding anything. Because we presented to him evidences where children were tear gassed, and we show him evidences where two of the victims were shot in their backs. So you cannot get people shot in their backs, then you that these people were fighting you and they were attacking you. When people are shot from behind, it means that they were running away from you, and these people were helplessly running away for their lives. So Gregory Coleman gave us access. We had audience with him, and we spoke about the report. But Beer Mountain Mining Company has not accepted our written report, but we send it via email. So professionally, we are giving them between 7 days to 14 days. And after that, that's when you will see the lawsuit coming.
You said there isn't any monetary agreement between the family and the government, but why the government will move the Minister of State instructing the Minister of Finance to source the money if there wasn't any talk with any one of the family members? What last did you talk with the family?
I am the family. I speak with the family every blessed day. When you covered our press conference, Sam Andrew, you notice that the biological brother and uncle of the late Abraham Kakula were present because their mother is old. You also notice that the biological father and biological sister of Isa Masale were also present. So I officially speak for the family. I'm in touch with the family every minute, every hour, and every day. And I can tell you this communication, we see it as an affront. We see it as an act of provocation. And that is why it will only strengthen our resolve to remain committed to pursue litigious pathway or to enter into litigation, because it tells us that the government is totally insensitive. It tells us that the government doesn't care for the lives of those people who were lost. It tells us that the government only interest is to protect the mining company, that is the Beer Mountain, against its own citizens. And I can tell you, not a single cent was negotiated for, neither have been signed for, or neither will it be signed for. Take my word for it.
So no member will go behind your back to negotiate. As far as you know, it is a government make-up, the communication.
As far as I am aware, absolutely no member of the Isa Masale family and the Ibrahim Kekula family will go behind my back to negotiate. They look up to me. Every people that have visited them were referred to me, from the Independent Human Rights Commission to other human rights groupings, to communities, to even lawmakers now. They referred them to me as their official lead on this particular issue. Like I just mentioned or intimated earlier, the company even called the three families and offered $35,000 United States dollars, and it told the company clearly reach out to Malaya Zaire Sharif, because he is the one that is ahead or leading on this front for us.
When did when did the company call the families to talk about financial compensation?
The offer was made, let's just say, 2 weeks ago. I saw our press conference send some message to them. So let me say this. From the time the protest occurred in King George, and those people were killed, there were absolutely no interest in the welfare of the victim's family. The only person who braved the storm to always talk to them was Honorable Mohamed Dossi. The rest of the lawmakers, including the company, including the government, did not pay any attention except human rights groupings. The only time we saw the company getting involved and other lawmakers that were referred to me was when that press conference was held on the 26th of April. Right after I started receiving barrage of calls from people and other things. So it was after that the company engaged for such a settlement. And between you and I, they were referred to me. The family turned them down and told them it is Melias who can speak for us. So it is better you people consult him. This is what I'm speaking authoritatively. That what is being written out there, what is being published by the government of Liberia is not to the knowledge of the family, and the family is not going to dance with that tune.
You are the head and lead campaigner for these people to get justice, and you confirm that B. Martin administration will call the family and make an offer of 35,000 United States dollars. One can deduce that they will have negotiated with others and then communicated that to the government, and the government will agree to come up with an amount. So
Indeed,
you worry?
I agree with you. There might be people behind the scene who are acting like they can convince the family. There might be people behind the scene who are putting their own personal interest. So they create impression that they are in control. I agree with your analysis 100%, Sam. But I am speaking authoritatively on this particular matter. So take my word for it. Because I am the official spokesperson, consultant, or liaison for this family when it comes to this particular case. For these families, not one family.
Apart from the litigation aspect, what are you doing to get them in the right frame of mind? Because I know that psychologically it stay playing on them. They have this psychological scar. What are you doing apart from the litigation aspect?
We have hired a psychological expert, and that is private. So they also have time for them, and counseling is also being done. You see, you are a very smart guy. So we are not only pursuing litigation, we are also seeking the welfare of the families. So we have our psychologists, our counselors, and people are talking to them every day, especially the father of Isa Masale and the mother of Ibrahim Kekula. For the young people, they are also being talked to, but I think they get some stamina as compared to these two old parents. So yes, indeed, we are working on it psychologically.
You're going to do a formal communication to the government to tell them to stop such a shenanigans so that it doesn't cause more problems psychologically with the family given what they are enduring.
And this is why, to tell them that we are on our path, I officially responded on my official handle on my Facebook page. And like you rightly said, not only to the government of Liberia, we'll be writing the Commission on Human Rights and seizing copy all of the embassies here. And we'll also be reaching out to international partners, the ECOWAS, and making them understand the EU that the government is joking. And yes, indeed, we'll respond, and we'll respond appropriately.
Is there anything we didn't touch that you got on mind that you can say in relation to what it is, so that we let you go and move on to another issue, sir?
What I can say, frankly, is to re-emphasize that the family has absolutely nothing to do with that communication that is in the public. I can state that the family has not signed, and the family will not sign for such an amount. And I can also deduce, like you rightly said, there are people out there who might be creating the impression that they can work on a family to settle for such a modicum or denigrating amount. And I think, honestly, let me say this harshly, I think that is stupidity. For people to be killed, people lost their loved ones, and people thinking that they can offer 5,000 to a family member to compensate for human that have been killed, they must be joking. And this is why we will remain committed, very much unwavering, to ensure that justice has to be dispensed for these people. Thank you very much for hosting me.
Okay, thank you for coming. I appreciate. He is Malaya Sharif. He's the lead campaigner for the Kinjal victims on the show this afternoon. Let's turn to you now to share your thoughts on this, and then we'll move to the president's visit to, or his trip to the United States, the U.S. Africa Business Summit. 0770-907-907, 0770 907 907. Having listened to Melias Sharif, 0770 907 907. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, your name and where you called from?
Well, my name is Abdullah Golafara, and I speak to you from District 4, Masalado County. You see, frankly, let me first commend your topics and relating to our county Kinjo issue that the spokesman having to be concerned about concerning our citizens. You see, what happened, the government begins to be so wicked daily in their advocacy, because I don't call that advocacy, in their wicked behavior. Mind you, the parents of these people that just passed up, there are some ways you can able to attack this issue to bring peace among them. But without you doing that, you coming out to go back to them and give them 5,000 for their loss. I think that's a fear provocation to the citizens of this family. So mind you, I would quickly say this to them. We are not saying to them that there will be nothing short occurring in Grand Cape County again. But what we will tell them, it will never repeat in the history of Grand Cape County for citizens to lose their lives.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Hello? Hello? You are on the air, speak, sir.
Yes, St. Andrew and Peter David Council, thank you very much for fascinating discussion. I call for under the street light in Lower Johnsonville. Firstly, let me thank you and your studio guest for his excellent deliberation. You see, there's a normal saying that says when a wicked rules, people suffer. You know, the government show us that they are going to achieve a fire between the citizens of Grand Cape and that of the police. Okay? They are coming out now today telling us they will give 5,000 to each and the victim. So how much are they going to give to those police or victim masters? We also want to know that from the government angle. These are things that we have said yesterday. These people came onto the mattress of change. Today, our people are being brutalized, are being killed, and how will you go give 5,000? If that 5,000 can reciprocate a human life, that's a complete disgrace and a frustration and a mock of the Liberian society and the safety of those who that were brutally killed and wickedly killed by the Liberian society.
Thank you, sir. Hello?
Hello, Sanju, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Yeah, thank you. This is Emmanuel Richardson, and I joined the conversation from Upper Carwell. And look, it is so shameful, you know, for the Liberian government to offer $5,000 to victims from. Look, people lost their lives. They're not even so much of the money, right? Where the man is behaving to the family, they just behaving like they don't even care, like, oh, yeah, people die. So we kill them, we ready to kill them. No, apart from the money, you show that him that sad, let people know that, oh yes, the government regret the action, and at least embrace the family in so many ways. But you take 5,000 is an insult to that family. I hope and pray that that family will not even use to that thing. It's not about money. If even you get them 1 million, it will not bring the people back. But the manner of the way the government is behaving, look, it's so scary. And I feel that you know how him feeling, man. How will you kill people and then you don't even show any sign of remorse? And that John say we get it for 5,000 each. What's that? What's that? It is wrong. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry for the noise in the background. But this thing is not fair. If it is what Crispy's son, if it is what Crispy's son, would Crispy pay 5,000 for somebody shooting his son? Hello?
I'm listening to you.
Yeah. So I don't understand who Crispy is. To send a letter to the minister, tell the minister that you give 5,000 for each of the family, whatever it is for his son or his children. Are they worth that amount? Why would these guys take other people's children not to be valuable? Who let them? But you know, if Joseph Bala keep that old man in that place there, someone will have serious power because we are seriously.
Thank you for calling. 077-0907-907. Hello.
Good evening to you, brother. I'm Andrew.
Good afternoon. What is your name and where you call from?
Yeah, this is the voice of Christopher B. calling you for Cardwell. Yeah, so the issues, my brother, you see, our country, this is where you see we very hard to go off in some things because we don't like each other as a whole. How can an officer go on a riot scene and then try to calm down situation while they took to protect life and property? But rather to do such things, then you are like negotiating with the family to give them a little or nothing. There should be a deterrent that was set. That tomorrow, when anybody want to do different things out of the way, they will know that yes, they said as a history before. So, my brother, I thank you for you raising such topic. Calling you at this hour. Thank you a lot.
Thank you for calling to have a nice day. 0770 907 907. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
You are on the air.
Yeah, Jeremiah Sherry calling you from Congo Town.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, we just want to keep encouraging our people. You know, that's where we stand for. For me, I'm a motorcyclist. You see, yesterday, when they say we were protesting, we were not protesting. We were negotiating, we were just having discussion around 10 a day. But we knew that even when we come out of the express, I was ready, there will be, but we're all in the public. When I protest, the kids are free. Then I see what happened to Kinjo. When I protest, the kids are free. You know, but we're putting all of them getting in the place. They say, oh, we're getting in a meeting yesterday. You know, that's some of the things they were talking about. You can't go and kill somebody, you want to get a fat guy, that makes sense. So you Joseph Boga, but they say, oh, guilty. You will work on the way and pleasure by Joseph Boga. So you Joseph Boga, somebody had to murder your son and say, no, give you $1 million, will you please you? Just looking at the version for God, you haven't seen it. You won't be lost their life.
Thank you for calling. Okay. Hello. You are on the air, Chief. What have you to say?
Hello?
Good afternoon.
This is Mama Johnson from Brad.
Let's hear you, Mosin.
Yeah, I try to tell you that the government is a wicked government. You know, rescue people. Can you imagine? They want and kill people, innocent people for nothing. Then the government decide they put 35,000 and the people refuse it. Government go take 5,000 to get to each family. There's an insult to the country and its people. Therefore, with me, I recommend the police director and the man from the president office, who is the minister of state, to be jailed for their last time. Thank you.
Thank you ever so much. Hello. Hello. Okay, you're off. All right. Thank you ever so much. You did extremely well to spice up the one on King Jaw that Melias Z. Sharif will debunk the 5,000 the government will want to put up for the victims, 5,000 each. All right. So that will be doing it for that. I saved this for the last. But let's say congratulations to you, and as you celebrate your birthday, Solomon Floor of Capital Bypass, you are celebrating your birthday today. You are a very, very regular listener of Voice of Liberia. Good morning, Liberia, Bits and Pieces, the afternoon show with Lorena and Daniel Salif, the lunch hour. As you celebrate your birthday today, we say, may God bless you, celebrate well, enjoy yourself. Thank you for being a regular listener of Voice of Liberia 104.1, Solomon Floyd, as you celebrate your birthday on today, April 10th. So now, I saved this for the last. This is what is taking us home. Listen carefully. I want you to listen carefully. I brought this up because the same thing that was condemned in the past is being done in the present and even more than it was condemned in the past. 2, one of the reasons people bully you, bully means to make you to think that what they're doing is right and you ought not to see it this way, or that they use you to accomplish their aims. So they will go about to say, this is not wrong, there's nothing wrong with it, the other people did it in the past. The president and his people will attend the U.S.-Africa Business Summit. And one of the captions said, the president, world leaders troop to meet the president. World leaders troop to meet the president. Many leaders from around the world, they were excited to go and see President Joseph Yemaboga. Joke. But that's not the argument yet. The argument is on the function. Unless you know the function of an office or institution, the politician will always make you to believe that you are not thinking right, even though you're thinking right, but because you try to be critical based on your knowledge, they would think that, no, you ought to think this way. They would think they should determine how you think they should remote control you. So I want you to listen carefully. I thought to bring out this. I asked for the scope of operation of the press secretary. In the past, the press secretary would turn to a commentator. And personally, in my opinion, was wrong. You will hear in the past, you will hear the assistant press secretary. President Weah has arrived at Kotoka Airport. The president is disembarking his air flight, and the president is in a blue suit with a blue shoes. We said, no, that was not right at all. You have people responsible to do that. The press secretary is a very, very, very important high-profile official. The press secretary is the face of the president. The press secretary manages the office of the president from a communication standpoint. The press secretary writes every detail, communicates the president's office information to the public, interacts with the media, and on and on. So I said, with my little understanding, that it was wrong. Why would the assistant press secretary commentate instead of documenting? It was condemned by these people in power today. The president is at the U.S. business, the Africa-U.S. Business Summit, whichever way it is called. Whether he has left or just using the term in which it ought to be used. So he's at the business summit, and the press secretary, his press secretary, is commentating. So I started to wonder, what is it, the function of a press secretary? Does commentary, or is the office of the president, the press secretary, goes with commentary? So I want you to listen. Here is it. Listen carefully to just a portion, not the whole, a portion of what a press secretary is. The press secretary is the official whose primary responsibility, according to my research, is to act as spokesperson for the executive branch of government, especially with regard to the president, senior aides, and executives, as well as government policies. The press secretary is responsible for collecting information about actions and events within the president's administration and issues the administration's reactions to developments around the world. The press secretary interacts with the media and the executive mansion on a daily basis, generally in a daily press briefing or weekly press briefing. The press secretary serves by the appointment and pleasure of the president of the executive or the head of state. The office does not require the advice and consent. However, because of the frequent briefings given to the media, in turn inform the public, the position is a prominent, non-cabinet position. Just a portion of a whole that I have before me. So, where then, how in this world and in this age and in our country, that the press secretary will be commentating? During we are administration, we had Smith Toby commentating here and there. These guys in power now will condemn, and the condemnation was right. But yeah, it's Kula Fofana. Her president is sitting there speaking, and Kula Fofana is commentating. Instead of documenting, writing. You go on the executive mansion page. You're listening to each of the videos carefully. The voice that you hear honor. President Barker, the president of Liberia, His Excellency, is about to speak now. He's being flanked by. So instead of writing, instead of taking note of what the president is saying, taking note of what other people are saying to him, the press secretary is commentating or was commentating. You go there, you watch it, you listen to the video. What is that? The press secretary is not a commentator. The press secretary is responsible to document, to take note, to brief, to listen attentively, to send dispatch while the president is away, at home to brief the media. The press secretary is in some high-profile meetings. The press secretary is not in some high-profile meetings. That means after that meeting, the president will brief his press secretary, and he or she will move to the media to explain. Not all of the meetings. Some indoor meetings or closed-door meetings, as it is said in diplomacy between the two leaders. After that, President Barker briefs his press secretary, then she comes out and briefs the media. Smith Tobe was commentating. Every time President Weah took him out, he commentated. Instead of documenting, they condemn it. Today, they're commentating. Kula Fofana commentating. You go to the videos, it's there. They didn't delete the videos yet. The videos are there. You're listening carefully. The voice that you will hear under, a female voice. And that voice is the press secretary. She's commentating. So the time she would take to commentate, or the time she took to commentate, what did she document? Because everything the president is saying, you have to compile those, all of those things. All of those things constitute what is referred to as presidential papers. Go to the executive mansion and see whether you have presidential papers on different thematic areas or issues, like agriculture, health, telecommunication, business. All of those constitute a presidential paper. When you say a presidential paper, you will see, you go there like, I have Tolbo, I have Totmon, I think I have 3 or 4. So agriculture, you see most of the speeches that he delivered on agriculture and where. Most of the speeches he delivered at the University of Liberia, the business college. You have all of those things. They compare them. It's what they call presidential papers. And who one of the main contributors to the presidential papers? The press secretary. The press secretary is a writer, a listener. The press secretary is that person that listens attentively, is taking note, even if it means for the press secretary doesn't record. There are people who are recording. That's why the press secretary has his or her team, a crack team. The role of the press secretary is to listen attentively and take note, document. But Kula Fofana, they condemn Weah and his press secretary people. They say they were far below par. But yet they're doing the same thing. A female press secretary going to commentate as you at business summit. Shame, you go there, the video there. On the executive mansion website, you're listening to it carefully. If you're in here, a female voice, in Kula Fofana doing that, never respect me, I say, man, you say you lie. Except they'll delete it, and they have not deleted it. It's there. Why was she commentating? So all those things that Bwaka was saying, who was taking note? Well, anyway, probably because the information minister was there. Even as that, if the information minister was there, it's not her role to. The information minister is responsible for the overall government information. The press secretary is restricted to the office of the president. Her content is the president. That is why they say presidential press secretary. But the one who disseminates information about the government is the Minister of Information. Kula Fofana content is only President Joseph Yema Bwaka. She can talk about anything outside her scope of operation. Who does that? The Minister of Information. So they are commentating. So why they condemn Joe? We are in the past now. Why? You see that? You go there, you download a video, you keep it for record sake. Then the disgraceful part, I like how people interpreted it. For example, say, oh, they're not bad thing, anything. The woman, a journalist, and she had a record. Press secretary should reduce. Look what happened. Press secretary sitting down on the floor. Did you hear what the guy said? He said, the position of a press secretary is prominent, but it's a non-cabinet position. It's a prominent position. Very significant, high-profile position. The press secretary of the United States, they sit down on the ground. The press secretary to Ghanaian president will sit down on the ground. The press secretary to Sierra Leone president will go to event and sit down on the ground. No press secretary around the world went to event and sat down on the ground. No press secretary, since God created the world, governance came into being. Only Liberia has that record. Because Mr. President, the same thing they accuse President we are of upping the list, increasing the number for people to go and amuse themselves, they're doing the same thing. They did not go purposely to do the people's work. No, the president carried some of them to go and see a miracle, to go and move around, see some family members. Nothing extra. You go to the place, you fill the list. And the people are system-driven. The seats allocated for the people were the people who sat. So there was no seat. They were forced to sit on the ground. A press secretary should sit on the ground. Then some people are listening to the argument. Yeah, people, nah. You see, this sycophants will always keep Liberia backward. When it's the other man, a bar. But when it's their time, then nobody should say anything about it. It should just be left that way and be seen as it's not bad, it's not wrong. That was a shame, a disgrace I like how Samira put it when she was talking about it. A disgrace. Press secretary. Because most of you who felt that nothing wrong with it, you ain't know the function. So you're team press secretary here that mere pressing. No reason why people don't really respect those people there. I don't think the president of the United States can even say Okuda for finance. Because I mean far above her. Because you reduce yourself. Even if you get sitting at home, you can use your ingenuity, but you will not sit on the ground. It can never ever happen to me. Will not say, if you call for me to stand, and I say, but I will stand and I will never sit on the ground. Why must I reduce myself to that level? It's demeaning. You lost your essence and value of a press secretary. You stoop so low. Nobody going to respect you. And it goes worldwide. They put nothing wrong with it. Because the president wanted everybody to have a taste. This is the beginning. The next trip the president is making, they will park the bus again. Or the plane. So the press secretary, they're not small person. They're not ordinary person. That here the press secretary can make himself or herself that kind of way. Look at what the mother before Bouaga left. The signing of the document for the setting up of the office of the War Crime Code. That was the reason Bouaga signed that document. And then the War Crimes Code, they setting up of the office, giving the right to set up the office. Look what happened over there. Did you see how the press secretary stooped so low? You think press secretary, that ordinary person, eh? You think come and sit down here and people be doing all kinds of things, and then our country just have that kind of bad image, and we say nothing wrong with it, people are living. There's not no time for nothing wrong with it. We will correct every error. Every error will be corrected publicly. Yeah, what happened? They got something they call situational observation. If you're watching football game, you see some people that where they saying came from. They say when you sit outside, you can see plenty of things than when you're inside. When you're watching the game from on the stand, you can see plenty of things than when you're on the field itself. When you're playing checker, the people who are watching the game, they can see plenty of things. They can see some of the moves that you ought to make. You're not making that move. That's true. When they call that situational observation, you're following the content. That means the main purpose. But you are also observing, you're looking around. You're looking around. So your eyes will stick on something. Something will attract you. The press secretary, the president signing that document. Yeah. Well, it was too funny that the president said, sorry, no disrespect to Bouaga's presidency, but listen, they put around Bouaga, they can make Bouaga presidency to look like a comedy. Even they can make it to look like comedy. It doesn't really bring out that presidential atmosphere. The president, they brought several pens. It was the purpose. There was a reason for that. No one should criticize that. So he would take this pen based on the document that they struck, how the document was composed, and what kind of color to use on what page. So after that, she went to introduce the president. What happened with the protocol? Nobody knows. The president ain't out of the country. The protocol people there, press secretary doing the work of the protocol person to introduce the president. She introducing the president, then she laughing. So when the president, when it came the time for the president to talk, they needed to put the mic on him so that his voice would come out. Instead of putting the pin on the president before he would sign the document, They kept the pin. It was Nkula Fofana here. She kept the pin. When she got through and the president about to talk, she soon realized that she had the pin. Then she ran across the floor. Y'all go back to that video, y'all see it. She started laughing, going back to the president to put the pin on him. Is that representative of a press secretary? So the people make Boakai gathering as a president like a comedy. They're more running across the floor laughing to go and put the pin on the president. Isn't it a joke? A fun fair? Then she goes in America. Boakai overpacked the plane. He packed the plane. Just in football, they say, pack the bus. They'll put them on the ground. Put press secretary on the ground. Imagine. I just imagine how other press secretaries around the world looking at that would say, what they would say about Liberia. Shameful. Shameful. The press secretary wants to dominate everything around the president. But that's what you get when you think this person. You put so much trust and confidence, which is not bad at all. But the person will not take time to follow the procedure or allow the person who can do that, who knows it at best, to do it. Because in Liberia, everybody, once the leader is around, everybody wants to get the attention of the leader. Everyone wants to get the leader knowing that he or she is around doing this. So there is not a condemnation for Kula. I'm simply saying that people have to stop these things, get more serious, make the presidency more presidential than a comedy. 2, President, we are Assistant Secretary or Deputy Press Secretary, Smith-Toby was criticized, condemned for commentating instead of documenting. The same thing. You go, the videos there on the Executive Mansion website, you take your time, you listen to it, the voice you hear, not man's voice, that woman's voice. And nobody does that but Kula Fofana. She is the press secretary. So she commented in His Excellency, President Joseph Yuman Boakai will now speak, and he's being flanked by the CEO. So at the close of the day, the president comes back to Liberia, nothing there. Then the Ministry of Information, the only thing we see is press release. President Boakai in the United States signed an agreement with Exo Company. The CEO of Exo Company was so upbeat about the discussion and expressed his interest to invest in Liberia. That template, that way we have year after year. Beyond that, nothing. Nothing. Let's go back into history and let's see whether we can have presidential papers. I don't think we'll have more than 4, 5, or 6. Who leads that besides the president's speech writers? The press secretary is the most significant person. The press secretary is in almost every meeting. The press secretary is brief. The press secretary role is a whole world. W-O-R-L-D. A whole world. It's not a small thing. The press secretary is not a small person. The only difference, and you heard it according to what the research provided me, they said the only difference is the press secretary is a non-cabinet post or person. But every other thing beyond that, the person is a high-profile figure. Well, you know what I mean to be the president press secretary? You, the consultant on media and public affairs. You, the writer, you brief the president every morning about things besides the information minister. The president consults you. There are too many things. The press secretary role is so unique but wide. And then they will go commentating. So why did they condemn George Weah now? Why did they criticize we are? Oh, Smith-Tobe, you're commentating. Smith-Tobe not doing that. And we are brought a bunch of inept people. So the people who educated now, you see they're doing the same thing. So I just thought to share that with you. That's why I asked for that, and they gave me the press secretary role, saying whose primary responsibility is to act as spokesperson for the executive branch of government, especially with regard to the president. The press secretary is responsible for collecting information about actions and events within the president's administration or office and issues the administration's reactions to developments. That means when you collect all the information and then you brief. They went further to say the press secretary interacts with the media on a daily or weekly basis, generally briefing the media about the development coming from the president's office. The press secretary serves by the appointment and pleasure of the president. They went further to say that the position is a prominent, not cabinet post. It's a prominent position, very key position, but it's not a cabinet post. But it's a high-profile position. So at the close of the day, if Bwaga leaves power, no presidential paper or papers, it means his speech writers, the press secretary, they were commentating. Audios are not presidential papers. They say papers, then say audios. Let's have your say on this one, and then we go home. We make way. 0770 907 907 and 0770 907 907. What is developing? Okay, let me get to it. But you can have your say. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Yes, Chief. I'm Elato and Kubo once again. So, what you saying, you don't know what about that like before? So, Kulapupana or you, I still go to sit on the floor as Liberian bag. So, you use Kulapupana to beg.
You using Kulapupana to beg? Because she sat on the floor with bag?
Yeah, Liberian people love too much begging. So, there's Kulapupana to sit on the floor to beg. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you, sir. Hello?
Yeah. Good. Hi, my dear brother.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you called from?
Yeah, this is the voice of Idrissa Sombai, and I phoned in for my brother resident.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, brother. You guys made my day, man. Yeah. You know, we told Liberians that this unept old man doesn't have real love for this country. Then you see Kula expect Kula to be a very sincere and genuine lady coming from the VOL trap. But to my ultimate surprise to see Kula flip-flopping, she just let me off. So this is sad for our country. I think that she doesn't able for this. Let me take the job over. She oh man, it's sad, man. This is a sad time, man. Why Liberia will always be going backward? Why a black guy, the unprepared old man that failed to do the work of the Liberian people? As a 79-year-old bastard deacon, then you be here doing what is very wrong in this country?
The man are deacon, eh?
Yeah, the 79-year-old bastard deacon who failed to pay tax.
Oh, okay, President Deacon.
The old man failed to pay tax. Yeah, this is sad for our country.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Man.
President Deacon. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah?
Yeah, okay. This is Mr. Daniel S. Grant from the township of West Point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want want to say thank you very much for hearing everything that is going on in the meeting, which of course we all our ears are open to it. Now I want to say this to you, that you see most of the apprentices and people in position, they don't merit those things. It's because maybe I knew you, and when I get power, I put you there. See, what kind of experienced journalist or press secretary will not know his or her role in such a thing? So I'm very, very sorry.
Yo, my man, I hear Sam Andrews. I can never be in such an event and sit down on the ground. I can never. If it caused me to stand along with the other people there, I will stand, but I will never sit on the ground.
Yes, my brother, just look at it. Secondly, look where our country is going. Where part of this war you ever hear gambling is being announced over radio stations, in which, of course, gambling is a sin.
Okay, Chief. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, Viva.
Yes, good afternoon. Your name and where you call from?
I'm here, Senator Jai, and I'm calling from Downville Police Station.
Let's hear you.
No, my info for this, thank you for the talking point this evening. Good for 1 hour, just making phone out of the paper, I just started and casual laughing. Because you know she was serious, so I'm going to be thinking possibly to do something better for him. But you want to go make phone out of him, I just started on the ground to laugh. And I want to continue to do to us. Our country, they take a big drama. When they go out and then they make fun, and they can't see the talking serious thing here. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice weekend. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm President now, calling from Stockholm Junction. Hello. Let me applaud you for the explanation, brother. We knew the puppy before you can take the mantle of authority in Liberia. Or Liberian, do you know this thing? But we'll get it, as everybody can say, we'll get it there, we'll get it.
Okay. Thank you. All right, man. Yeah, our hearts out. Our condolences to Senator Amara Conan. The family is bereaved. They lost their son and nephew at 23. Our condolences to Senator Amara Conan and the family. He just posted this. He said, "Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. Our family is bereaved. We lost our son and nephew at 23 years old. May God Almighty have mercy on his young soul and grant him paradise." Thank you for, okay. Yeah. Our condolences, Voice of Liberia, 104.1 condolences, Senator Amara Conan and the family, or the loss of your son and nephew. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah, this is Joshua P. I'm calling from Asma Street, Cathedral Campus.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Yeah, what actually the president did, she tried to reduce the presidential office. And President Bwaka has a lot of experience. And the experience, people Andrew, can be two ways. It can be negative or positive. So I believe that the experience our president has, he has a lot of negative experience. I listened to some United Party president said that a lot of people in this government are educated more than the past government. Therefore, I just laugh at them. We are paying position by past ministers and directors in the former CDC government. They are not. Yes, look at what they express secretary. But for you now, you go St. Andrews. You know the same ministers in other government because we are learning for you every day. When you talk about your boss, people. When you talk about the former Controller General, you talk about the former Minister of Finance. A lot of people that indeed that are working in the government, they are not prepared. They are not prepared. I listen to the public minister also, making statement that how will you use money to say you make $22 million just to fix lateral road? That waste.
Okay, Chief. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Okay. Hold on. Let me get to CDC Youth League respond to Professor PLO or Plo Lumumba. That's how it's called. So he was on one of the radio stations, yeah, and he'll share his critique of President Weah's administration and the current administration. And there he went further to say that President George Weah didn't bring his million footballers to invest in Liberia, and that is the reason why Liberia isn't developed. So the party, through its youth league, will react to it, terming it as disappointing that the self-proclaimed Pan-Africanist will now begin to depend on Western footballers to develop an African country which is in contradiction to the ideals and philosophy of Pan-Africanism. CDC Youth League went on to say, the Pan-African philosophy undermines the need for a united Africa where we as Africans can cultivate a sense of belonging, get rid of foreign supremacy in Africa, and develop our countries as Africans. It's sad that the man who professes to call or to be calling for Africans to unite and develop Africa is now shamelessly blaming President George Weah for not bringing foreign soccer stars to develop Liberia. CDC went further to say through the Youth League, we understand very well that the professor has now become a hire-to-play speaker in the hands of failed politicians around Africa who are seeking political favor from their citizens so they can hire PLO to do their bidding in the name of guest speaking, orator, or a public lecturer. CDC went further also to react to their youth league. No wonder the lousy hire muff was denied entry in Zambia in 2018, where he was hired by some politicians through the Eden University to demonize the government development plan and the investment of the Chinese in Africa. So sad that he chose his hire to play as a means of survival, but hid under the pretense of being a voice for Pan-Africanism. They went further to say, is this not the PLO Lumumba who turned the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission into a toothless watchdog when he headed the agency in 2011? Is this not the man who didn't succeed in prosecuting a single corrupt individual, all because he was busy ranting and accusing without any fact to substantiate his frivolous claims? How fast this man has become a moral voice in Africa is puzzling, and because many are not aware that his only means of survival is to be paid by politicians around Africa to do their bidding. CDC went further to say, through the Youth League, it is neither surprised by his latest ranting against our political leader, George Weah, nor moved by his actions because we know the character very well. The Unity Party has failed in just 100 days of leadership. So they need someone like him to blame that on the past government of CDC. Mr. Boaga failed 100 days deliverable is just a signal of how the country has been turned over to failed politicians and state looters. The Liberian people have seen for themselves, and no matter how much you pay Lumumba to distort the facts on the ground, the reality will still show its face every day when bad roads are depriving our people of traveling, when there is shortage of petroleum products, when the prices of rice continue to increase and the living conditions of our people continue to remain unbearable. The money Mr. Bouakai chose to give Lumumba to badmouth Ambassador George Weah, that could be used to combat the unprecedented growing wave of drug and substance abuse, with the government facilitating the importation of the latest drug called Zombie, which is more dangerous than Kuch in our country. And then they went further to conclude, we pray that after Lumumba's current contract with Bouakai ends, he will take a sober reflection and reflect on the unprecedented development contribution of former President George Weah to this country from the soccer page to the presidency. Meanwhile, the Youth League of CDC wants to commend the gallantry and never-relenting courage of all motorcyclists in Liberia for standing against the draconian and knee-jerk policy of a no-go zone. The Youth League will continue to stand with all motorcyclists in defense of their rights to freedom of movement as enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, and we will continue to defy the partisan police of Gregory Coleman for illegally cracking down on peaceful motorcyclists by infringement of their constitutional rights. We want to warn the Unity Party police and certain Gregory Coleman to desist from unconstitutional activities that have the proclivity to undermine the peace and stability of this country. All right. So the reaction from CDC through its Youth League to Professor Lumumba, who said President George Weah didn't influence his footballer friends to come to Liberia, and that is the reason Liberia is not developed. Okay. So I just thought to inject this. And then what is happening at the legislature, and then we close. I know that you're calling, but the House of Representatives, what they have done, want to invite LDEA for operations head Hassan Fadiga over threats to arrest lawmakers linked to drug trafficking. So the House invited him. So the Representative Sumo Molba, will term such as against the lawmakers as not only baseless and false, but intended to set or put the lawmaker reputation at stake. Fadiga, so the mayor is saying they will arrest any lawmaker linked to drug trafficking. So the House want to invite the mayor to explain. This is one of the men who insulted George Weah a lot, said all kinds of awful things, but it's good that he's being treated that way at the LDA. I listened to the man on Spoon Talk one time. You know, the man had a lot to say. The man even insulted. Those of you who, when other people talk, you say they're insulting. When you're listening to these people on the other platforms, you will not say they're insulting, or you will not try to be ethical or moral. But when another person does it because you're in favor of that, then you say the person insulting. Nobody insults. Nobody insults on radio in Liberia. Everybody give description. Everybody. A puppet is not an insult. Stupid is not an insult. None of those things are insult. The only reason you think they are insult because you don't know the meaning. But nobody insults on radio in Liberia. Nobody. Nobody. Let the government, let the Ministry of Information, let the committee at the ministry, at the legislature on broadcasting, let all the people put all those things together and carry it to court and say these expressions are insulting expression, so therefore we need to take action and see whether the court will look at you. The court will say, come on, get outside, man. It makes sense. You can read. You can read with comprehension. Nobody insults on radio. Everybody gave description. In Europe, go America. Some of these people who saying these things, they've been in America. You hear some things, go to some other countries. You hear, go Raya Ghana. When you hear how the intellectual flow goes, you get scared. But look, Raya, when lawyers are arguing, two lawyers in the court, what some of you can say, the people will fight, they will never speak to each other. But at the end of the day, the people embrace each other, they go in the same restaurant and eat. You know why? Because they know that intellectualism, everybody can describe how you want to describe move, what it was, because it is a battle for supremacy. Yeah, nobody insult. Hello? Just say 2 calls and then we zoom out.
Hello?
Yes. Hello, Chief.
My name is Isaac. Isaac call you.
Let's hear you, Isaac.
Yeah, I want to a little bit elaborate concerning the press secretary.
My man, I finished what I think. Okay, go ahead. It is your right, Chief. This is a public broadcaster for you.
I'm surprised as you, as a professional journalist that I follow daily, for you to say that a Google cannot recall a voice message when you speak. It surprised me today.
Did you say I said Google can record a voice message?
You said the audio is there. So it's possible that when you speak, Google will translate it.
Hey, God. Hey, man. What kind of country we in so? Hey, man. This country here, sorry to say, Chief, but the country here, no, wait, my man, I can't allow you to go further because you distorted everything here. That's not what I said.
Yeah, the audio is there. And you know that Google can translate an audio into a text message.
But when did I use the word Google? I didn't use the word Google.
But I don't know that Google can do that. Google does that.
Hey, man. All right, let's listen to you. Yeah, put out what you can put out.
Yeah, Google translates the voice message into a text message. You didn't say it directly, but Google does that. You're saying that the audio is there. When somebody speaks, Google translates that speaking into a text message. Thank you.
My man, sorry, I don't know what you do. This is no disrespect to you. I'm not denigrating you. But whatever you do, if you are a teacher, then I advise all those people who are under your tutelage to leave. If you're in your office, well, then I know. You sitting down, you say you're listening. Did I use the word Google here? I said the videos available, they are still on the website of the executive mansion. Presidential papers are not audios. That's what I said. That the writers, the speech writers, write the president's speeches. One of the persons who contributes significantly to the compilation or the composition of the presidential papers, the press secretary. And I said, I don't know whether we have more or many presidential papers today. That audios are not presidential papers. That's what I said, Chief. Did you say something different? I said, you go on the website there, the Executive Mansion Facebook page, and you will Kula Fofana. No male commentary, no male voice commentary, that female commentary, and that female voice that Kula Fofana. Then you're telling me that Google can translate voice. I mean, you're trying, man. You're trying to listen attentively. Stop being emotional. You think when you're called, it means that you're educated? You think that you know, or you are special, you got this specialty in a certain area? You think when you call on radio and then you're talking, it means that you're making sense? Oh, come on, man. Well, man, let's take this one and then we'll go, man. I mean, you don't be doing that. You don't be reducing yourselves like that, man.
Hello.
Yeah. Can't talk about say Google can translate.
Yeah, I want you to look carefully by Kula Fofana. A guy is sitting there, look there, Bushi Bank theater.
The video, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the picture?
Yeah, the man, yeah, sitting there. Look, carefully, you know, Bushi Bank Keita or Jamila Pia.
Oh, you mean no? I think it's Aton Kesali. I think he's on a Kula Fofana. Yeah, no, it's not Buju Ben Keita. It's not the legal advisor to the president. No, he's not the one, sir. Okay, thank you. All right, so many people have listening problem in this country. Many people have listening problem. Why are you saying? They will take it out of context completely. The man say, Isaiah, Google can't translate. Why use the word? Big man. All right, thank you, man. That's all the time we've got. So today is the birthday of Salome Floyd of Capital Bypass, you celebrate your birthday today, April 10th. I will say happy birthday, and thank you ever so much that you continue to follow Voice of Liberia. Good morning, Liberia, Bits and Pieces, the afternoon show. Thank you so much that you've stuck with us, Voice of Liberia, over the time. So as you celebrate your birthday, it's our obligation to say happy birthday, celebrate well, enjoy your day. Salome Floyd of Capital Bypass. And you got it from your daughters, Dorcas, Gamen, your sisters, Ruth, Love, and all of your family members. And another person who is celebrating her birthday today is Faustina Asefua of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. Celebrate world. Congratulations that God has allowed you to celebrate another milestone. Faustina Asefua, as you celebrate your birthday, you there in Johnsonville and work at the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. So that's it. That's how the show recess for this week, to return afresh on next week, Monday, if God permits. Thank you ever so much for being with us. The repeat of this morning's presentation of Good Morning Liberia is on at 7. My name is Sam Andrews. Shalom.
Don't trouble nothing too much, you know.